Welcome back to SL Chennai Speaks Out. I'd like to ask the bank manager here, ma'am, from a nationalized bank. I know there have been some cases of banks actually deciding on marks. They've been slightly Marxist in their approach, if you pardon the expression, where they filter candidates and applicants on the basis of the marks secured. And this had gone to the court, and the court held that marks should not be the criteria for deciding, because a person may not really get very high marks, but still would be able to be fairly successful in life and repay that loan.
No, now it's not happening that we don't go through marks. But previously, what would have happened is, see, when you're coming for loan, then I'm just thinking that you will have to finish your degree and then only you have to earn and then pay back. We are not thinking about the parents paying back. So when I look at you as that you have to finish and pay back, then I'll be interested in how much you are scoring. That is very important. If you fail, then you are only going to
marks,
suffer.
are they
yeah, definitely.
Do marks actually, is that the correct parameter to determine success in today's world?
Otherwise, you tell me how we can find out whether the person will come out successfully.
There are school dropouts, ma'am, who have gone on to become very successful businessmen.
It is there. I don't say that. But then, there should be some criteria.
Yeah, yes.
And it's not happening now.
Okay.
I wanted to just tell that basically the credit cards which are there are given by, the majority of them are given by private banks. The nationalized banks which are there are very little, for the main reason that people are under the impression that there is a better service when it comes to the private banks. And in other words, they're actually charging us more. They are not...
you don't mind that extra charge?
No, that's the thing. The people are under the impression that the private banks are giving us better service, so we don't mind paying that.
A better service probably includes the money paid to the recovery agents and all that.
Yeah,
in case you
the recovery agents, because
he means people be dressed like me, but will do all the activity what my other friend was saying.
Sanjay, what he means is simplification of procedure. For example, I go for a house loan, home loan. If I go, they give me a sheet of paper. One of the MDs of the private bank was traveling with me. That man was busy filling the application form, not of his own, of ICICI. I asked him, what is you are doing? The night, first AC, the train. He was filling up a very hurried one sheet. And I told him, why are you filling this? What happened to your own bank? He said, my own bank, they'll give a booklet, running about 200 pages.
It's the same thing.
200 pages I don't want. This is only one sheet, one photo of mine, one is my co-applicant, my wife, that's all about the matter is over. And 7 days time I get a loan. Simplification of procedure. That's the main point. Not that otherwise. It's simplification of process, people are allowed.
You can also tell it's ignorance, because if you give a person an entire book which has all the regulations, don't tell me he's going to sit and read each and every page.
Exactly.
Most of them don't. They just sign. You tell me where to sign, I will sign it.
Even the lawyer says he does that, right? I mean, sometimes in this...
Let us all say fairly. When we take an LIC policy, we don't look and read every clause.
Exactly.
We just sign the policy and give it because the agent has told what money we're going to get.
What is the business model of a credit card? How does it work? Is it like it only works with, with the late fee and excess fee? Is that the main revenue for the bank which gives the credit card? I know. Normally, how does it work? If everybody pays on time, everybody has it. We buy it this month, we pay it the next month. So how do the banks make money?
Are the banks
Isn't
thriving
it
on
cheating
default
the masses?
payments?
Not really. See,
Isn't not cheating the masses?
One second. Yeah, answer that.
see, what is the objective? The objective is to do business, and in an evolving market, that's when your defaulters, list
So
also
are
comes
defaulters
up.
welcome or not welcome?
I would like to address in terms of the model that you're talking about. The model is predominantly in a credit card business. The income part is what you're referring to, and that is predominantly because of fees, and yes, the interest component. And there is a merchant fee that comes up, which is also, these are the components.
banks were charging annual fees.
Yeah.
Now, due to competition, then they said the card is a free card. As she said, through the merchandise, the EDC machine, through the electronic that machine, from the merchandise they are getting certain percentage. Otherwise, the majority banks are getting only through defaults and late fees, late payment fees.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point I wanted.
Not really.
Default, as far as concerned, settlement is made, but still the bank don't do the settlement. They keep carrying forward, and after 6 months or a year, again they call themselves, this is a due with so much of interest,
what, Madam,
and
here in
keep
the front
calling
row.
it again and again after a long gap. Like suppose it is a due. You have called me today, maybe a week or 10 days time again you have to recall and ask for the settlement.
They may not
But
have the
they
records
wait for 3
after.
months or 6 months and they come back again for
No,
settlement.
the settlement process itself is a long drawn process, and one wouldn't recommend someone going in for a settlement unless there is a specific binding reason behind it, because settlement need not necessarily still take the individual out of that CIBIL list. You know, settlement still means that the person has defaulted and it stays that way. So settlement is a last recourse that we are talking about, and like I said, settlement is a long drawn process. There has to be a complete mutual understanding, and once settled, yes, you still have a recourse showing that settlement details and saying that I've done the settlement, so get me out of this follow-up activity.
There's a discrimination on the basis of cards being issued to the customers.
See, there is a
I mean, in the interest of
checklist.
the legal fraternity, let me say that lawyers, I mean, they are bluntly
Lawyers, police,
policemen.
media people,
Why?
politicians.
Police, I
There are
disagree.
category
I
about
thought,
6-7 categories.
I thought our colleague himself admitted that he
And
had
what
got so many
basis you
offers.
discriminate?
Now, what
us?
basis is it?
No, see, there is a...
Don't you judges also?
Is it because you cannot use strong arm tactics with these categories of people because you are
It's
powerful
purely a
enough?
policy bank-wise. In fact, I know that one very big lawyer who sits on the board of that bank, by virtue of the policy, is not entitled to it because they feel that it's
What
not
is the
a-
rationale behind this?
Well, it's a judgmental call. They feel that it's tough
Basically,
to
they can't use the
deal with these
collection
people.
agent
Yes.
power on all
See,
these
basically
people.
the collection agent collecting through the agent itself is illegal. It's not under the process of law. See, any
They
procedure
can't-
has to be through process of
They
law.
can't
They should
enforce
file a
the
suit for
illegal
recovery.
means on
They should
legal,
file a suit for recovery
personalities.
through
That
the
is the
court of
only
law.
reason.
This is illegal methodology. That's
No,
why
in
they
fact,
don't
Supreme
need
Court recommends the legalization of this agents
Supreme
because
Court doesn't say you can employ goons.
no, it does.
as recovery
In fact, if you want to term him as goon, it's the way you
No, some
see
of them,
it.
sir, are some of the recovery agents goons in your
No,
experience?
no, no. Most of the MNCs, what he's talking about, they employ only goons. And they have a lot of criminal records. And we caught even last week one fellow, he got into Anglo-Indian's old lady's house at about 8 o'clock in the night. And he stood there only, sat there only. And she got so frightened, she called us. And immediately we sent the Sembian police to handle. He was thrashed black and blue. Later on, we found the local rowdy fellow.
Okay.
No, we
So,
get so
there is
many
no accountability.
cases, Sanjay.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Recently, I was using the card for the past 2 years, sir. Recently, my son has met with an accident. I had to spend more than 1.5 lakh rupees for the thigh bone fracture. And at the time, I was unable to pay. And I have sent a notice to the bank also. I have got like this. And I have given the enclosed discharge certificate, whatnot, everything I have closed. And genuine fact. But banks are pressuring like that. Within a month, it is Mercury is rising like that. Loans, everything is rising. And then I tried for a personal loan. For the past 2 years, I am using the credit card. They know about my genuinity. When you go in for a personal loan, they are telling simply your credit has been, your salary has been credited in the bank or not, they are asking. If it is not, they are not giving.
To be fair to the banks, how do you think, how else should they safeguard their interests, sir? Public money is involved here.
I'm not declining. See, for the past 2 years, I'm using the card. When I go and ask the bank, simply your salary should be credited, otherwise we can't give the loan.
Yes, sir.
But credit card only we shall give, we can squeeze you.
I'm a chartered accountant in practice for over 11 years, and my credit limit was brought down from 1.45 lakhs to 40,000. And none of my payments have been, no overdue, no default, but I don't know on what basis there has been, there's this indiscriminate resorting to CIBIL guidelines to reduce my credit limits. Absolutely no basis.
Surely a stray case, I would say. And CIBIL, in fact, is developing from a creditworthiness of corporates to a creditworthiness of individuals now. So that hereafter, if you go and try to take loan maybe 5 or 10 years from now, you have to just give your rating and automatically it's virtually through, they just check it.
How many of you in the audience have had bad experiences with goons coming up as recovery agents?
I have taken a personal loan, taken a vehicle. So I'm just paying, it's a short-term duration only I have taken. I have paid the amount for 1.5 years, like still 4 or 5 months are there. But I'm just now, the agencies are coming, particular date I have credited my amount. The bank people have not taken it. They are saying that the one day night we will take, or tomorrow night we will take. So they are saying that on 5th, means 5th will come Saturday or Sunday. So how they are taking, I don't know. So the Monday or Tuesday, the recovery people is coming.
Some banks, including nationalized banks, it's not as if it's only the private banks that are to blame here, including a nationalized bank, they started publishing names of defaulters in newspapers. They called it Hall of Shame, dishonest borrowers, photographs, and there have been cases where people have attempted suicide also. And these are not necessarily willful defaulters, but those for some reason, maybe a death in the family or some emergency that they were not able to pay back. So is it legal to actually publish names of defaulters?
See, I don't know, basically they publish all these names just to cover themselves and try to minimize the loss which the bank is going to bank is going to incur. Then whether they are legally entitled to do it or not, we just need to clarify on that.
I want to ask only one question to the banks. See, they are publishing a defaulter, especially employees of railways, employees of some public sector undertakings, some unions. But they don't publish big industries who have borrowed thousands of crores from the banks. They don't publish in the newspapers. We don't find them in the website. Only ordinary citizens, ordinary salaried class are being harassed like this.
Well, in fact, I will like to add there, I at least have 2 cases before me, because one is a very, very reputed industry. He doesn't even want to borrow, but because he wanted to borrow, one of the nationalized bank gave them up to 800 crores limit to 1,000 crores. Not one personal guarantee, no security, because purely the business model is so good. Similarly, another group took 1,200 crores thinking that the industry will do very well. All the banks pumped in, whether it was MNC or private sector or public sector. Ultimately, the business model failed, money went down the drain. Whether it went to his pocket or not, we don't know. So it's clearly a judgmental and business call which the banks take with regard to all the big industrialists. But if one businessman goes bad like this and 1,000 crore NPA is created next day, the bank itself has a fear of falling down, because if you publicize this too much, nobody will, suppose I put X bank as defaulted 1,000 crores and the money won't come tomorrow.
People will queue up to get there.
We will not go and put the money there next day. We do not know that it will come.
Valid point to slide into a short break. Now when we return, in fact, we'll ask our audience and the panelists as to whether this vicious cycle of debt only applies to customers or also banks.
Suppose if a particular person resorts to minimum due payment, he has to pay minimum 25 years to clear his account.
They started creating a racket downstairs and, quoting our amount, how much we owe the banks and stuff like that.